Hey everybody, it's Trudy here. This is my weekly angel card reading video for the week beginning March the 30th through to April the 5th, 2020. Now, normally I pre-record these videos. However, there has been a situation in which my pre-recorded video, for some reason the sound didn't work. So here I am, and I thought I'd just try this live stream situation and see if that works better. So it looks like the sound is going, so let's just hope this works. Okay, so because I'd pre-recorded this earlier, the cards have already been dealt. So I'm going through them now. You won't see me shuffling. I'm just going to go read through the ones that came up. So this is the card for Monday. And I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but of course you guys didn't hear what I said before. But I mean, this is the most appropriate card I've seen for the times we're in. World energy. And the card talks about how what we are feeling right now, our emotions, our energy is really being impacted by what's going on around us. Pretty obvious, hey? Let me just read this message to you. The earth is going through a transition of energy and your sensitive body is feeling it. You're not alone, accept the help of others. I mean, this is so fundamentally what we're dealing with at the moment. It's talking about how the transformation that the planet is going through, which is extremely challenging, of course, but we need to be aware that it's going to impact on our emotions and our energy. So we just need to try and be a bit gentle with ourselves through that process, because especially if you're an empath, and if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you are an empath, because I am too, and I tend to attract people who are very similar to me. So you've probably got some spiritual abilities. And this card lets you know that if you are an empath, you pick up on other people's energies really, really intensely. And when there's this level of anxiety as there is in the world right now, you're going to feel that in particular. So I like the last part of this message. You're not alone, accept the help of others. Obviously, we're socially distancing, but we can still support each other from afar safely. And remember to ask for and accept help from others. That might be just on the group chat. Guys, I'm really struggling today. Can anybody offer me anything that's going to help me lift my mood? Whatever it is, this is not the time for trying to staunch it out and try and get through this on your own. There are no medals going to be awarded for anyone who didn't ask for help at this time, or any time, let me say. Okay, Tuesday's card is life review. I've talked about this a little before. Because of what we're going through at the moment, where our normal structures have been taken away, this is a time for us to we've really got this wonderful opportunity to do some self-reflection. If we don't reflect on where we're going, there's no opportunity for growth. And before this isolation period, hit us, many of us were going through the motions. We were in autopilot mode. We weren't thinking about what we wanted from our lives. We were just running around, keeping busy. And whenever we would get these sort of intuitive messages that this isn't working, you need to change this, or this isn't really what you signed up for, this isn't really what you wanted, we were like, oh, too busy, I'll think about that later. I haven't got time for that. Now we have time. We've got a lot of time, actually, and this is the time to really spend some time thinking about what is it I want from my life, and where did I go off track? If this is not what I signed up for, then what happened? Have I agreed to do a job because that's what my family wanted me to do, for example, or have I gone along with something because I was just following what other people were doing? Really tune in and see what's right for you at this time. And what am I not dealing with that needs to be dealt with, that I've been masking under busyness or alcohol or whatever it is? For many of us, we place our value in our productivity. So we're so busy ticking things off the to-do list every day that we don't spend any time sitting by ourselves and thinking, what is it I want to do with this incredible opportunity I have on this planet? We all know life is pretty short. Obviously, I believe in reincarnation. I believe we've got many lives, but each life is different. And so what is it you think you wanted to do with this life? What is it you think you might regret not doing when you get to the end of your life? It's also a good question. So really looking at what needs to be healed, what needs to be worked on, and how you can do that. Some of the things, obviously, you won't be able to change while you're in isolation, but you can start thinking about how you want to do so. Often, when we have our Christmas or New Year's break in this part of the world, over January and December, a lot of people come back really refreshed and saying, I thought about what I want to do with this year and what I want to achieve. By like March, they've forgotten all about that and they're just going through the motions again. So now you've actually got sort of a holiday. I know most of us are working if we're lucky enough to still have our jobs, and I hope you all are. We are still working, but we've also got a lot of time back in commuting or social events that have now been cancelled. And so we've got the time to actually do that life review. So Wednesday, 2 cards came up. This is a recurring theme. I'll just flag that now. We've got a couple of cards on several days. We have adventure and we have truth. So for those of you who are astrologically minded, this is really ninth house territory. I know none of us can travel at the moment. So the challenge for us in this adventure card is to think about, how can I have adventures without leaving my home? And often those are adventures of the mind. So reading really compelling books, or doing study that we might do through webinars or online courses, or that might be adventures through what we're creating in terms of creative projects, maybe that children's book you've always wanted to write. All these adventures we can have, because this is a really uncharted territory. We've got this, we don't know how long this is going to go on. So it would be quite good to utilize it, because I know a lot of people, what I've seen, are spending this time on social media and, binging on TV shows, and that's fine, but there could be another way to get a lot of value from this time. So really think about, how can I make this into a bit of an adventure? And if you've got little kids, you're probably already thinking about this. You're trying to create new adventures for them to keep them stimulated. I really feel for you, for those people who've got kids. I know this is going to be incredibly challenging. Truth is the other card. We know being in integrity is a recurring theme with these cards, all of these cards. And this image here of this person looking into the mirror and seeing what's reflected back at them really speaks to what I said earlier about this life review. And this is a time for really tuning in to say, am I living my truth? Am I living in alignment with my values? If one of my values is treating people with respect, am I doing that? Or am I going to the supermarket or grocery store and elbowing people out of the way? I'm sure no one here is doing this, but I'm just trying to give you examples. My truth is I believe in giving back to the world in some way. So how are you doing that? Maybe your truth is that music is the thing that makes you come alive, but you've been too busy working, you haven't done any of that. And maybe this is the time you pull out your violin or whatever it is and start posting videos about that. Really coming into alignment with, who am I? What do I offer the world? And how can I do that? How can I live my truth? And coming back to that idea of, have I been going along with the motions, going through the motions, but not really feeling alive? And often we do that because we're really living a script that someone else has written, a society has written. And at a really intense level, this would be going into relationships that are not right for us, but because we didn't want to be alone, because society tells us there's something wrong with being single, or going along with a particular career progression, because once you start at this company, you just keep going up the ladder and you don't stop to think, is this actually what I want? I don't want to be an accountant, actually, but all my family are accountants, so it's just what I fell into. So really thinking about, am I living my truth? There's nothing wrong with being an accountant, by the way. I love my accountant, very important. But I'm just saying, if it's not right for you, and you really need to think about, and it's very easy to do, because when we choose our career path, we're very young, and our ideas about who we are and what we want are really quite fluid. So, I think it takes great courage to change and say, actually, this isn't working for me. And sometimes we often hear about people doing this when they've had some sort of a health scare, for example, or a divorce. Something has happened, and that's the moment they go, actually, this has jolted me out of what I was doing, and now I'm going to live that again. Live what I wanted to do again and start over. And a Thursday's card is exactly the same, really. Be honest with yourself. Look into your heart and you will know the truth of this situation. I think a lot of people right now, through this process of life review, will be going, I think I've been accepting a situation that's not actually right for me. And I know that's not easy to do, and I know change is really hard and scary, but I would also say that going along with something that's not right for you is harder and worse, because you're signing up to be unhappy the rest of your life. And I'm not diminishing the struggle that can come from making changes, but I think the alternative is worse. I don't think I need to say any more about that, actually, because I touched on it so much with that truth card. So Friday's card is open. Now, this is a bit sensitive. It talks about speaks to people with children or who have had children. Now, I'll touch on the sensitive aspect first. If you have lost a child, I really feel for you. This card is offering you some reassurance, letting you know that your child is okay. And this can speak to adult children as well, of course. And it might not just be children who've passed. It might be ones who have cut ties or something like that. So letting you know that your children are safe and okay, or that it's okay to let go of them if that's what you've had to do. So for those of you who don't, and I think most people that will not apply to, it could be just saying that your children are okay. And I know at this time of heightened panic, many of us are worried. And if you're, if you're a parent, I can see why absolutely you'd be worried about your kids. But please try not to worry, because worry doesn't help. And your kids will pick up on your worry. And that the more stressed we are, the more damaging that is to our immune system. And there is research showing that stress really does diminish or dampen your immune response. So that's not helpful. Really try to understand that you're being looked after by the universe, because you're a child of the universe. Your children are being looked after as well. Really try to release that worry. And that speaks to all of us as well. Even if you don't have kids, we're all children of the universe. We're okay. It's coming back to that, having the trust of a child. And we've had last week some really strong messages about trust and being able and having to trust. And I know it's really hard when this is so unknown what's going on right now. We feel like we can't trust because we don't know what's going to happen. And, the ego says, I can only trust in things that I can see and that are concrete and that I have experienced before, so I know I can deal with them. And the Spirit says, no, we trust because we know that we're okay and because we have that connection with the divine. I use this saying a lot. Faith is about taking the first step, even though you can't see the full staircase. And right now, that first step for all of us is one day at a time. We're just one day at a time doing what we can, because if we worry about the future, it's just not going to help. We don't have any control over that. So Saturday, we have two very, very appropriate cards. We have Serenity and we have Retreat. I mean, these were made for quarantine, were they not? Serenity is really just peace. And I love how she's actually touching flowers in this. If you have a backyard and you have an ability to connect with nature, that would be really healing for you right now. Or if you are living somewhere where you perhaps you're on some property and you have access to nature where you're not going to be endangering other people, then that would be great. Like last Wednesday's card, we had that beautiful message about peace. This is really reminding you that trying to instill a sense of peace within you is probably one of the best things you can do right now. And as I said, stress is unhelpful for our health and our immunity. So really trying to do what we can to restore that sense of peace. Meditation is obviously valuable for that. Mindfulness is lots of deep breathing exercises. When we breathe into our belly slowly, letting it out slowly, we're communicating with the nervous system that everything is okay. And that message then goes to every cell in your body. It's hugely valuable, and there is research showing that it works. So sorry about that traffic noise. So if that speaks to you, look up diaphragmatic breathing. I think, please don't ask me to spell that. I need to write it down to know how to spell. Just write breathing for relaxation. I think you'll find a lot about that. So, yeah, really doing what we can to connect with that sense of peace. And journaling is huge for that. Doing creative projects also helps. Retreat. We're all a retreat, aren't we? An imposed retreat, not the kind of fun yoga retreat in Bali, unfortunately, more like a retreat in your own home where all your own stuff is coming up, which is a bit unfortunate. But like I said with that life review, it is also an opportunity to sift through some of that stuff and go, yeah, I've been doing this thing and that's actually not helpful. I've been going along with what other people want or expect from me and not saying no, etc. So we're in retreat. It's safe for us to be in retreat. It's good for us to be in retreat. It's good for the community for us to be in retreat. So let's try and look at what valuable insights we can get from that time. Now, I need to touch on the fact that this can be a challenging process because sometimes when we're in retreat and we're not burying ourselves in work or hopefully not alcohol or drugs or anything like that, your stuff comes up and that can be really challenging. The things you've been trying to hide from, sweep under the carpet, that past relationship that you never really healed from, or the, childhood incidents you haven't healed from, but you've just been trying to keep yourself busy so you don't have to think about it. And so if you're struggling with this, please reach out to me for energy healing sessions. I know that's maybe not something you're thinking about right now, but this is a moment to really do some healing, because we are still, and that's a really good moment to focus on that healing. When you're trying to run around like, whatever, it's just not, it's really a lot more difficult because you're not integrating the lessons. So Sunday, again, 2 cards. The angels are really making it challenging for me to hold all the cards this week. We have Irene, peace. I don't really think I need to talk about that too much, because all those messages I talked about in terms of reconnecting with peace are relevant to this message. We also have Athena in inner wisdom, and it says, you know what to do, trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. I know for some of us we can't really take action because we're quarantined, but you can still start planning how you want to make those changes. And some of those changes you can make actually, in terms of, you can start saying no and setting boundaries over the group chat, for example, and getting used to that. But really, this card lets you know that the things you've been thinking about doing, that your intuition has been telling you or nudging you to, those are right. Please trust them. And I think because we are in such a period of stillness right now, you may be getting a stronger connection with your intuition, having a better ability to really understand what's going on there. So, what a week. This peace message comes through really strongly. I think these ideas about coming into your integrity, being authentic, are really strong as well. Being honest with yourself about what's going wrong, what's going right in your life as well, you need to do more of. And the life review, of course, is pretty profound in there too. Yeah, that's it for the week. Hopefully that has been helpful to you in some way. I hope you are well. I hope you are healthy. I hope you are doing the best you can, one day at a time. So we're all in this together, and it's hard for all of us, including me. So if you would like some help, you can reach out to me for energy healing. My website is www.onegroundedangel.com. I've always worked remotely, so there's no change to my business offering right now. I have clients all around the world. I operate over Zoom or Skype, and payment is via PayPal. So, and I'm happy to adjust for time zones and, of course, currencies. So reach out to me if you'd like to find me. There's information on my website about that. And of course, each card will be on my social media each day as per usual. My Facebook page is called One Grounded Angel, and my Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel. Thanks so much, everybody, and I hope this has been helpful. Take care.